now?
Yes.
Okay. Right. The first slide basically is just about me. My full name is Ashok Kumar Jackison Das Taylor. And just like all of you, I'm from Ndola. I'm very proud of that as well. I was actually born in Ndola Central Hospital, to any of you who can still remember that hospital at the corner of the roundabout. And I was born to two wonderful human beings who I simply think are the next thing after God on earth. Let me introduce you to them. Right. Um, these are my parents. I was born to Sri Jackishan Das Bulabai Taylor, who is my dad, and Srimati Pushpa Ben Jackishan Das Taylor, both of whom have sadly passed on quite a while ago. And so, for those who don't know my dad and mom personally, you might also know me through my other connection, Hiralal Police. I am his nephew from Mandola. Um, I'm one of five siblings. My eldest in the family is my motabai, who is Bharat Kumar Jackison Das Taylor, who's now in Stevenage, UK, with two grown-up children, one of whose weddings I went to last year in Udaipur. Next in line is my sister Lata Gaman, who is now in Lenasia, South Africa. Arun Bhai knows my sister Lata Gaman from the days of, I think, Mehta Patel and Co., where they were working together. So that's a very, very long time ago. Then comes my middle sister, Asha Chauhan, who is on this group chat today as well. She moved from Ndola to Kitwe after she got married, and she has been residing there ever since. Um then it is myself, and I live in Stanmore, UK, where I came to in 1987. Finally, I have a baby sister, the baby of the family, Hansa Sharma, who is in Orlando, USA. So I will now show you some pictures so you might be able to put some faces to the names as well. There we are. This is a photograph that was taken in Udaipur last year when all of us got together for the wedding of my eldest brother's daughter. And it was a fantastic wedding. Um, I will show you, going from left to right, that is me on the very left with the blue. Next to me, standing just immediately after me on the right hand side, is my sister Asha Chauhan. Standing next to her in the middle is my sister Lata, who is in South Africa. And standing next to her is a chap who looks far younger than me, but however, he's the eldest in the family, Bharat Taylor. Others know him as Bharat James Taylor. And the final person on the photograph on the right hand side is
Sorry, we
Hansa.
can't see the pictures
Ashok,
now.
we can't see the pictures.
Okay, okay, hang on, let me see. Give me a second. Right.
You can share the screen.
Yeah, I will just give me a second. I will share the screen again. Can you see the screen now? Is the screen visible now?
It's blank. Yeah, now we can see.
Okay. We'd obviously have. Okay, right. So let me take you back to the screen where we're right. So you should be able to see this picture now. Can you see the picture on the screen now?
Yes.
Not yet.
Okay.
Oh, not yet. I
Yeah.
can see it.
So once again, the very left on the left hand side of the screen is myself, my sister, who's immediately to the right of me, Asha. Next to her is Lata Gaman. Then is Bharat James Taylor, and the baby of the family, Hansa Sharma. Right. Um, a little bit about myself in the background is that I had an appetite for coming first in class. I got that since the second grade in Kanini Primary School where I went to, where I got a prize for coming first in class. And since that day, right up to and throughout my secondary school, I've always come first in every single class. So that's the background of my educational excellence in Zambia. Um, I even had the opportunity in 1976 to skip a grade and go straight into grade 7 on a promotion, something that my father, in his old wisdom, declined because he thought it wasn't proper thing to do at the time. Um, Next is three very, very important people in my life. First and foremost, my parents, my father and my mother, they taught me the life's values. The second is my Gujarati teacher called Kumud Ben Nayak. I mean, she taught me the cultural and behavior values when I went to learn Gujarati from her after school. And the third one is Kanchan Ben Chauhan, who was my primary school teacher in 1976, and she taught me all about educational values and excellence therein. Um, my education and career in Andola. From 1971 to 77, I attended Kanini Primary School. Thereafter, 78 to 1981, I attended Consensi Secondary School. I left partway through the fourth form because I found that I wanted to study myself because the teacher was not challenging me enough, something my brother got very horrified by, but it all worked out well in the end. In 1982, I got my first job as a junior audit person in Cooper's Library, which is now PwC. So that was my first job. I then moved on to Deloitte Haskins and Sells, which is now Deloitte's, in 1983. I was offered a job there. And then finally, I moved to Pete Marwick Mitchell, which is now KPMG, and I worked with them since 1984 right up to 1987, which is when I finally moved to the UK. In the UK, since 1987, I have done a variety of jobs whilst I was studying. So, my first job, you wouldn't believe it, was with McDonald's. Because when I came in 1987, there was a huge recession in the professional trades. So, I could not actually go straight from KPMG to KPMG. There were no jobs to be had. So, I decided to go and get the first job to actually keep myself going whilst I was still studying. So that was my first job. Um, I then got married in 1991 and I went to Zambia, from where I returned in 1992. And I joined this current department that I'm still working for, which falls under the Attorney General of the United Kingdom. Um, During my time with this current employer, known as the government legal department, now I have done a variety of roles. Started with finance, then I moved into IT senior management. I've done change management as well, which is IT change management, facilities management, and also currently doing business management for the Department of Work and Pensions now. So that's my career history in the UK. Um, Now, let's coming forward to what's happening at the present times. The pandemic and the MBE, these are both linked together. From the 23rd of March of 2020, when the UK went into a lockdown, I attended the premises constantly because I needed to make sure that I was there to support my staff, who themselves had volunteered to come in to run what is known as essential government services, because we work for a legal outfit, so people can still carry on serving you notices and summons, and we have to act on it within the time limited deadlines that we are given. Um, One of my staff was unfortunate to lose two people in his family during the COVID, so I had to support him. I had another member of staff who actually ended up having a mini stroke on the premises, so I looked after him as well. So basically, this was all the work I was doing. But alongside the work, after knocking off from work at 4 p.m. in the afternoon, I would get home about 5 o'clock, and 5:30 to 10:30 every single night, right up to the 30th of June just gone. I used to do meal drops for people who had lost maybe a job, or maybe were put in furlough and they didn't have enough money, and those who are actually actively shielding and they needed protection from the virus. So this is something I did outside of work every single day. So next one is this is how it all came together. I had a phone call on my personal mobile in towards the end of May from somebody who I could not recognize at all. But she did say that she was from the cabinet office and could I call her back? I didn't bother because I thought it was a spam call because you get spam calls, so I didn't bother. A week later, I had another call from her whilst I was at work because I have a call blocker. And I asked her, I said, well, how did you get hold of my number? Because it's a private number. You shouldn't have my number. So she says, no, I got your number through the HR department because we've been trying to contact you. I said, what do you want to contact me about? So, well, we sent you an email to say, do you accept the honor? I said, which honor? I haven't received an email. She said, well, I sent it to your government legal inbox. I said, no, I have left that organization. I have a different email box now. If you send it to me to my DWP email, I will look at it and accept or otherwise. I finally got it, and I was really, really gobsmacked that it was real. There was this letter from the cabinet office offering me this MBE before it goes on to the Prime Minister's office and then on to the Queen. So I accepted it. And then I was told to keep it silent until the 12th of June, which is the only time when the Queen announces it. It goes in the Gazette, and that is the time when you actually share it. I did share this with my family, but they tell them not to disclose to anybody until it came out in the news. So it came out finally on the 12th of June, where the announcement was made. I will share a few snippets of that with you. Here we are. On the left-hand side is the actual Gazette where the actual entry was inserted, saying that I had been given an MBE by the Queen. And that's one there. On the right-hand side is a note that was put on the Twitter accounts by the permanent secretary to our department, the person who is immediately below the minister, Susanna McGibbon. She mentioned me to say that she was rather pleased with what I had done with myself. Finally, there are two other publications. The left one is the Times newspaper on the day, where my name appears towards the bottom end. And then there is also the Asian Voice. I didn't know because a lot of Asian Voice and other publications were publicizing this as well. My name comes third from the top, if you look at that. And I also found out that whilst all this was going on, my sons were helping me also with the meal drops from time to time. And I have realized that this pandemic has taught me one extra thing, and that is the fact that, just more than just a survival for everybody else, it's also an opportunity for us to be good citizens. And good citizenship is something that I have taught my children too. So basically, something good has come out of it. And I think we should all pursue that line as well all the time. That is just about all I had to say in my presentation. If people want to ask questions, I'll be more than happy with that as well. Thank you.
Can you put your parents' photograph, please?
Yep, I'll put my parents' photographs again then.
Yeah, we didn't see.
Okay, I will show you the photograph now. Right, can you see the photograph there now?
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I worked with your dad in 1965.
Sorry,
I worked with your daddy in 1965.
your voice is breaking up.
I did work with your father
Okay.
in 1965 in Kiran Clothing. I'm Ashok Patel for 4 seasons.
Okay. You must be Ashok Bhai from Four Seasons.
That's right. Yes. Yes.
I will just stop the share for a second. I got a feeling it's interfering with the signal of the audio as well now. So I'll just put the share down, and then we can return to, right. Yeah. So you said you knew my dad quite a while ago?
Yeah, 65. I worked with him, 65, 62, 68.
Okay. Did you work with him in Naran Bros?
No, Kiran Clothing. Prior to that, your dad was in Kiran
yes.
Clothing.
Yes.
And I was son-in-law of Kiran Clothing family, Vallabhbhai, and this was brother-in-law.
Oh, okay.
Later on, I started a business, Four Seasons, with the
That's
help
right.
of my father-in-law. Yes.
That's right. That's right. Because you must be Ashok Bhai, because my dad used to bring me to your shop,
Yeah,
and
that's right.
always used to give me an apple.
Yes.
I remember that. And I also met you. I also met you briefly, if you remember, at Bachu Panchal's funeral when he came to Milton Keynes. If you remember.
You are right. You are right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I was responsible to get Bachu Panchal's body out of Zambia into the UK for proper cremation here. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Nice to see.
Okay. We got Sunil Bhai. Sunil Bhai has got his hand up.
Hi, Ashok bhai.
Hi, Kamsho.
Fine, thanks. Brilliant achievement.
Thank you very much.
Very proud of you. Just a little bit about your family. We used to live in the flats in Ndola, didn't you?
Yeah, number 7
There's
on
a
the
block of
Broadway.
flats. Yeah.
Yeah,
And yours
yeah.
was the first flat, I think, on the left-hand side, probably, I think.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. We used to visit the family across from you, Hasmukh
Yeah.
by Maru. I don't know if you know that.
Hasum Amma and Gunwanti Mami, you used to
That's
visit
right.
them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We used to visit them, and we used to come to your house as well. I
That's
remember.
right, yeah. And my mom and Gunwanti Mami and them used to all come every Navratri to your place for Garba and all that at your place.
That's
Yeah,
right. Yeah.
I remember, yeah. And I used to be in the same year class as Bhavesh and Kamlesh, your brothers.
That's right. Yeah.
Young brothers.
Yeah. Mhm,
Yes,
mhm.
yep.
Yeah. Yes, good memories. Yeah. Good to see you again.
Absolutely, yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
We got Panna Ben with her hand up.
Yeah, Panna is next.
Congratulations, first of
Thank
all.
you very much.
You know, we are related. Your sister is married to Harish, was married.
Yes, yeah. Asha.
Harish is my cousin.
Okay. All right. Okay, fine. Yeah. Asha.
Gajamasi is my mom's sister.
Okay. She's in Australia now, isn't she?
My Masi is in Australia, yeah.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah.
Asha Babi couldn't join them.
Yeah. It's one of those things that sometimes things work out because there is a bigger plan that God has for all of us, and we just need to be patient. It all unfolds nicely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Lovely seeing you.
Likewise to you.
Ashok, the flats were owned by Vallabhbhai, right? Of Zambezi Clothing?
Nah, those flats were owned. If you remember, behind the house, you came to our house for my sister's 21st birthday as well.
Right,
So
I remember.
That was the first flat that was on the left-hand side. The flat behind is where somebody called Vijay, who people used to know better as Rabbit, if you remember, from
Yeah.
Jasu Stores.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Lala Baga and Vijay and them used to own those flats. Yeah.
Okay, any more questions for Ashok?
I think Anup Bhai is trying to say something, but the mic is off.
Yeah, unmute yourself.
Hi, Ashok. This is Yashwant. Congratulations on your
Hi.
achievement.
Thank you very much.
Questions.
Sure.
When you talked about your life back in, you said you didn't complete, you didn't go to finish your Kansanji, but you did, I guess, what you call home study.
Yeah, I did a correspondence course, self-study. If you remember, on Butekwa Avenue, there used to be the British Library. If you remember that,
right?
I used to go there, borrow books from there, study, look at the syllabus, and I did 6 O levels. I got 5 A's and a B in them, and thereafter I pursued it further with 5 A levels, which I got full A grades in all 5 A levels.
Nice. I didn't know you were allowed to do independent testing.
Yes. Yeah. You had to pay your fees at if you remember, just past the High Court, going towards Kanini, there used to be the Minister of Education headquarters there.
Right.
And you went and paid your fees over there. That gave you the opportunity to go and sit at an examination center and do it. So I found it easier to do that when I was more challenged that way. So I did that way because my ambition was always to become a doctor at one stage or the other in life. But because my dad's financial situation, it wasn't a possibility. So plan B had to be put in place. And I know that there are 1 or 2 individuals on this group now with whom I wouldn't want to name, but in 1987, when I finally had the opportunity to go to the UK, a lot of these people came forward and helped me towards the expense of coming to the UK. One or two people who helped me in doing that are on this forum. I've already contacted them, and I don't want to sort of embarrass them by taking their names. But what they done was a very, very, very worthy thing in life, and I think God will always bless them for it.
Great. And this, the other one I have a question is the food parcels that you were delivering.
Yes.
But were you preparing them, or were you just collecting
No.
it from
Well,
someone?
what we had was we have a school around the corner called Cannons High. Now, because everything was shut down, we negotiated with them to borrow one of their halls, and we actually had a chef we got a hold of, and he actually set up his kitchen there because his restaurant was closed, so he set up a kitchen there. We had a lot of local Asian people like VB, Cash and Carry, and people like that, who actually said, take all the groceries you need for this charitable thing, and that's it. Then we had some good butchers in the area as well. So what we were doing is we were preparing meals for people who are of the Jewish faith, because they must have only kosher food. Then the people who are of a Muslim faith, who must only have halal, and then obviously the other Indians like us, whatever, for pure vegetarian food and that sort of thing. So all these three were prepared, and I was one of 6 drivers there who took my own car out every night, and I did it. So that's what we did, and we were delivering parcels right up to the end of June this year. I then came off that because I now knew that everybody was out of furlough. They're also out of shielding. And now they can actually come out themselves and do things for themselves, which they must do, because that's the way to get them out in society as well.
And how many meals were prepared every day?
I did 30 meals drops, so basically for 30 people. So on the average, I was doing at least about 20 houses. And the other drivers were also doing an equal amount of 30 meal drops as well. And we couldn't share the car because of the contagion of the pandemic. So that's what we did. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay.
Anubai, you had a question?
Yeah.
Yes. Anubai, bola.
Ashok, you remember me? I used to
Of
be
course
partner with Mama.
Yeah, I remember you being partner with Mama, but I remember you even before then, because I think you used to work in the new building, which was, is it Tazara?
Tazama Pipelines.
Tazama Pipe. That's right. Yeah, right at the bottom, Buteko. And I used to know you more through Aarti, your daughter, and your son Raju.
Raju is in Washington, Arlington.
There's Raju and I used to play in the back garden, right next to your flats, were the next flats which were owned by, I think,
Patas Limited. That's where I used to live.
That's right.
Arun used to live there as well.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. And that's where my Manilal Mama used to live. So I used to come and visit him. And every time I used to visit him, I used to play in the back garden with Raju.
My wife was very close to your mom as well, Pushpa Ben.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I remember that. And I used to come to your house because there was something you probably remember not. Your wife used to make the most excellent pendas for Prasad. And I used to come and eat those.
Yeah.
So I remember that very, very well. Yeah.
So I have a question, Ashok. First of all, congratulations on this great honor you have received. Can you explain to everyone what it really carries, the MBE?
Basically, there are 3 tiers. There are 3 tiers for the British Empire. So the first tier, the very high one, is the OBE, which is the Officer of the British Empire. It's a title. The second one is CBE, which is Commander of British Empire, and 3 is the MBE, which is Member of British Empire. To put it in perspective, I've received an MBE, just like 2 other very big sports figures. One is Marcus Rashford, the footballer from Manchester United. Another one who's a big footballer is Raheem Sterling from Man City. We are all from that same batch of people who are given the MBEs. But the good thing is that this time around, it's changed. The honor system has changed slightly, because for the first time in the Queen's birthday honors, 15% of the people who received the honors were ethnic minorities. They were not white people. So this is good that they are now getting a recognition for people who are doing things in the country who are not white. Because as I always argue with all my people I work with, that, using the word Commonwealth over and over again is no good unless you actually understand as a white person that the Commonwealth is 70% non-white. You must accept that color and you must respect it. So it is gradually getting there, and we are getting further and further into that system. Yeah. So in terms of the other honors like OBE, and then when you get the CB, Commander of Bath, it brings other privileges, which are slightly financial privileges, because they can hire certain churches like St. Paul's and things like that. They can hire them privately without having to pay for it. So these are the things. But when you come to MB, whatever, MB carries it with the privilege that, when you're looking for association in jobs or even in societies, your MBE title is looked upon because they think that this is what adds value to the organization. That's what it is.
Was this presentation, was it presented by the Queen herself, or?
Right. So that's the thing I'll come to just in a second. Now, what has happened is, because of the pandemic at the moment, that's how the pandemic and the MB is all tied up together. If the Queen was to receive all of us in the pandemic, chances are Rani Mandi padi jai, because she might. So what? I got a letter that there is a compromise solution that I can receive the award directly from the Queen, but that will only allow me to take one person with me as an independent person, a visitor. Or alternatively, they will be sending me the article by post if I agree to it, in which case I'll be invited to the Queen's Queen's garden party next year, where I can take 3 people. So I spoke to my sons, who are fully grown up, and they all agreed that let's go for option 2, because that means that both of us and mom can come with you. So that means the whole family unit can go together, which will be a better thing. I want this to be a day for them as well, not just for me.
Good.
Yeah.
Yes, if I may come in, Ashok,
Yeah.
on the MBE side,
Yes.
I'm sure you received the gong. Can you give us the site of the gong, or has that not been presented yet?
That has not arrived by post yet. So there will be the gong, and also basically what they do is they send you the medal, and as well as what they call a warrant. That warrant actually says that you have now enlisted, the Queen has now enlisted you in that order itself. So in other words, you are an officer within that order. So that is a warrant that has to be served. So I have till the 30th of September to wait for it before they start posting it out. And once that is posted, once again, I will again share it with this group as soon as I receive it. Yeah.
Also, sorry. Yeah. As far as the MBE, OBE, CBE are concerned,
yes.
I'm sure you're aware, but other people may not be aware, that these kind of awards, when they are, or people nominated for these awards, there are some people who reject these offers purely on basis of their thinking that the British Empire does not exist anymore.
Yeah.
So those are their personal thoughts, but there have been instances where individuals have rejected these awards. So just for the benefit of others.
Yeah. So that's one of the reasons why when I was first selected for the nomination for the honor, I was contacted by the Cabinet Office to ask my express permission to say, do I want it or do I reject it? Yes. So that they have to do that now as well. But there's also another thing is that in terms of propriety, there are people who have actually had that honor being taken back by the Queen, people who were given the CBE, OBE, but then did things which were criminal and things like that. So the order can be rescinded if that happens. But I also had an important meeting within 2 weeks of receiving the honor. I had an important Zoom call with the Prime Minister's office, because all the civil servants, I work in the civil service, all the civil servants who had actually received it were invited by the Prime Minister for a chat over Zoom. So I had that as well within 2 weeks of receiving the actual nomination.
That's President Hakainde.
No. This is the Prime Minister of the UK, Boris Johnson.
Oh, Boris Johnson. Okay. Oh, well done. Oh, that was good. Quite an opportunity.
Absolutely, yes.
Others. So well done. Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm also amazed, Ashok, at your grasp of the old memories of Ndola, and have you still remember all the little bits from your childhood and whatnot. So all in all, congratulations to you. It's a proud moment for us all from Ndola. So
thank you.
Continue your good work, and
thank you.
Keep in touch with the lot of us. We're not a bad lot here, you know that.
I'm sure you're not. No.
So try and spend some time. Stay in touch with us, and it's lovely to see you and your family as well. And congratulations once again, and thank you for your presentation.
Thank you very much.
And all the best to you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ashok.
All right. Thank you, Arun Bhai.